What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name is Kyle. Tonight, Monday, December 2nd, we have the Broncos and the Browns on tonight. Not super exciting, but we do get to see Bo Nix. Jameis Winston's always kind of fun to watch, so we'll be on the watch for that tonight. But in this video, we're going to go over the Week 13 post-game notes. This is a members-only article, which you guys can get access to on thefantasyfellowship.com. There's links in the description if you want to check it out. I'm going to kind of just recap what's going on with these notes, and I'm looking at snap counts, routes, and all the fantasy stats from Week 13. And then you guys do get a downloadable PDF version in there for you. No teams are on bye. Let's talk about the Thanksgiving games. And the Lions 23, the Bears 20. We had a pretty exciting finish in this one. The Bears almost pulled it off, the comeback at the end. As far as the Lions, not much to learn here. David Montgomery split this almost 50-50 down the middle. David Montgomery continues to be used more in the receiving game than Jahmyr Gibbs, which is interesting because that's what Gibbs was supposed to be really good at. But we're seeing Montgomery rack up the PPR volume here. No rushing touchdowns for the Lions in this game, but both guys, it took Montgomery 88 or 21 carries to get 88 yards. It took Jahmyr Gibbs 87 yards on 9 carries to get there. So interesting running dynamic split here. Sam Laporta still not involved heavily. 2 touchdowns is nice, but 3 catches for 6 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'd like to see him involved more in the downfield passing game than kind of these red zone looks here. Red zone looks are nice, don't get me wrong, but we want more production out of Sam Laporta. And then Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, these guys continue to be the top 2 targets. And then Tim Patrick is kind of locked in as the clear number 3 wide receiver. Khalif Raymond is on IR. He might be done for the year too. But Tim Patrick continues to play well. So nothing really to learn from the Lions. Tim Patrick, I guess, is the one guy to note in deeper formats. The Chicago Bears, not much to learn here. Roschon Johnson did leave the game in this one, which allowed Travis Homer to get on the field. Didn't get any touches, but he got on the field. So note that one. DeAndre Swift got the full lion's share. He got every running back touch in the game here. So 11 carries, 2 catches, 3 targets. Still a solid, low-end RB2 full floor here for PPR. And then, DJ Moore, 16 targets. Like, we're back. I think Caleb Williams is looking a lot better. Still not very consistent, 20 for 39 as a passer, but 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, continues to add with his legs. Like, this is borderline a quarterback 1 for fantasy football entering Week 14. They do travel to San Francisco, but there's a lot of teams on bye. Maybe you need a quarterback. I think Caleb Williams is looking kind of interesting here. And then, Keenan Allen, 5 for 73 and 2 touchdowns. Rome Odunze kind of taking a step back after he had been kind of surging in November. But it looks like Rome Odunze, 2 for 25. We're not starting Odunze. I think right now you're starting DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Still can't really trust Cole Kmet. I like him, but 3 for 26. He's just not really getting a ton of volume here that we're looking for. 39 pass attempts from Williams and only 3 targets for Cole Kmet. So you're starting Moore, Allen, and DeAndre Swift. We'll see if Roschon Johnson can go. But Caleb Williams looking like a guy that could be startable in fantasy football going forward. The middle Thanksgiving game, the Cowboys 27, the Giants 20. Sorry, I'm not feeling 100% today, so we'll bear through this together. I was at the Packer game on Thursday Night Football. It was very cold. I don't know if I'm feeling a little bit of effects from sitting outside in the cold for about 4 hours. But either way, Cowboys looked a lot better, and they're starting to get, consistent and find their way with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, 21 of 36, 195 yards and a passing touchdown. This was the Rico Dowdle game, 22 carries, 112 yards and a rushing touchdown. Finally, they just have caved in and said, here you go, Rico. This is everything that we have to offer in the backfield. And he looked good doing it. He dominated the snaps, 52 of 75 snaps, 21 of 37 routes. They're still going to use Hunter Lepke in the passing game, which is fine. They actually use him to run the ball a little bit in short yardage situations. No targets, but he does run a lot of routes here for a third-string running back. But this is Rico Dowdle kind of saying, hey, I'm a running back too going forward. If this is going to continue to be his usage, Rico Dowdle, man, and they gave him the goal line opportunities too. Ezekiel Elliott not really getting anything. Rico Dowdle is the main takeaway here. At tight end, Luke Schoonmaker continues to play well for Jake Ferguson. I think Ferguson's going to be back this weekend, so we'll watch for that. But Ferguson continues to play well enough, 5 for 33, 8 points as a tight end one. He might be a guy that we look at if Ferguson's out going forward. And then CeeDee Lamb was kind of banged up in this one, 2 for 39. He did have 6 targets, just a really low floor here for CeeDee Lamb. I'm willing to kind of, forget about this one as the Cowboys really just leaned on the run in this one. I mean, we had 26 rushing attempts. We haven't seen that from the Cowboys, 27 with the KaVontae Turpin one. But Tolbert and Cooks round out the top 3 wide receivers here. Cooks is back in as the number 3 wide receiver. He actually stepped in for CeeDee Lamb a little bit. 3 for 16 and a touchdown, team high 7 targets. Maybe Cooks is worth adding, but I don't really feel like starting him. I want to start CeeDee Lamb. I want to start Rico Dowdle, and then the tight end, whether it's Ferguson or Schoonmaker. We'll see how it goes. And then Cooper Rush, especially in Superflex leagues, I think he's very open to being a QB2. New York Giants, they looked a little better with Drew Lock in the passing department, 21 for 32, 178 yards. And Lock added some with his legs here, 4 for 57 and a touchdown. He almost had another touchdown. He did lose a fumble. He threw a bad interception. More of the same for the Giants starting QB, but I do think he's their best one going forward. But they're probably going to go back to Tommy DeVito here in week 14. So I'll watch for that. Not much to learn here. They did lose Theo Johnson for the season, which is disappointing because he was starting to come on. I think in dynasty leagues, if Theo's out there, I want to pick him up. Malik Neighbors got fed targets, 8 for 13, 69 yards, and he did get a carry. You're starting Malik Neighbors every week. You're going to keep starting Tyrone Trace. I think those are the 2 guys that I'm comfortable with in my lineups. But Wandale, not much of an exciting play as a wide receiver 3 flex. Darius Slayton's in there too. But I don't really want to mess with the tertiary targets in the Giants offense. So Neighbors, yes. Tracy, yes. Singletary, still the backup here. And then in super flex leagues, maybe you pick up Tommy DeVito. Maybe you hold on to Drew Lock. Figure it out, Giants. We want to just have a guy that we can know is going to start and be your QB2 the rest of the way. And then the Thanksgiving nightcap, I was at this game, Packers 30, Dolphins 17. It was a fun game to be at. Very cold. A lot of running from the Packers and a lot of dinking and dunking from Tua Tagovailoa in this one. He was very, very consistent. 52 total pass attempts or 52 total routes. He went 37 of 46 as a passer, 365 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. Again, a lot of dinking and dunking for some big plays. Jonnu Smith, he's a tight end 1 right now, 10 for 113 on 11 targets, a team high 11 targets. Achane was the next best receiver here, 8 for 56 and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill did pretty good, 6 for 83 and a touchdown. Nothing really to learn from this team. You're starting Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I think we got to keep Jalen Waddle in our wide receiver 3 range here. Maybe you have a wide receiver 2 now since he's perked up. But those 2 are must starts. You're starting Jonnu Smith as your tight end 1 going forward. And then this is the whole Achane show. Like, they gave Raheem Mostert 5 carries. They actually phased Jalen Wright out. They did get Jeff Wilson back. So for me, I love Achane. I had been rostering Jalen Wright pretty much all season. We might see him at some point get some action, but for right now, this is Achane. I don't even want to mess with Raheem Mostert. It's all Achane. And then, good game from Tua. Pretty simple Dolphins thing here. They're just going to continue to use their studs, and you don't get much else from everybody else. The Packers, Jordan Love played well, 21 of 28, 274 yards, 2 touchdowns. He took care of the football, didn't have any mistakes. Played some good football. He had some nice throws to Tucker Kraft, 6 for 78. You're starting Tucker Kraft, I think, if you have him. And this is the game here where I'm hoping they continue to dial things up for him and get him involved early and often throughout the game. Josh Jacobs with the huge 4 for 74 receiving line. He didn't really have much room to run, 19 to 43 as a rusher, but he did get the touchdown. So he had a good game for your fantasy line here, but it was mostly as a receiver. Christian Watson had a really nice catch down one of the sidelines, 2 for 67. Dontavian Wick stepped in for Romeo Doubs, 4 for 30. And then Jaden Reed still getting targets, but not a lot of big chunk plays here. 3 for 24, but he did get 2 touchdowns and a 23-yard rush. So you're starting Jaden Reed, I think, every week. Romeo Doubs is probably coming back for week 14 against the Lions. So start your Reed, start your Kraft, start your Jacobs, start your Love, and then the flex questions are the receivers. Watson, Doubs, probably not Wicks with Romeo Doubs back. And then I'm going to cover the Black Friday game, and then we'll get out of here. If you guys do want to see the rest of the video, I upload it to the fantasyfellowship.com for members, where you guys can access all the other games, all the other snaps, routes, and stats that you guys need to look at. It's all there for you. Memberships are as cheap as $5 for a 2-week sample. Chiefs 19, Raiders 17. The Chiefs should have lost this game, by the way. Aiden O'Connell was looking really good for most of this game. But the Chiefs, what do we learn here? It's nice to see DeAndre Hopkins back on top in terms of routes and snaps. He actually faded to like the 4th receiver the week before. So I'm happy to see him. I'm going to move him up in my rest of season rankings as like a top 25-ish wide receiver. 4 for 90 from D-Hop. Worthy continuing to develop and look more consistent each week. 5 for 54. I don't really want to mess with Juju, Watson, Hardman. I think you can start Hopkins as your wide receiver 3. Worthy more of a wide receiver 3 flex. You're starting Kelsey, obviously, 7 for 68 on 13 targets. Good Lord. But Noah Gray looking like a potential tight end streamer. 4 for 58. He had a couple touchdowns the week before. He's involved in the offense. They like scheming him. A lot of easy targets, 4 for 58 from Noah Gray. So pick him up in Dynasty. And then the running back split here with Pacheco back. It's a 50-50 split. Kareem Hunt, 27 snaps, Pacheco, 26. They both had 7 carries. Hunt was out there for more routes. He did earn 4 targets, only caught 2 of them for 0 yards. But Pacheco had the nice big run, but otherwise, kind of like Kareem Hunt, he was bottled up for most of the day. The Chiefs just could not run the ball. I think going forward, I'm going to move Pacheco ahead of Kareem Hunt, as I expect him to kind of just get healthier and get more work as the season goes on. Pacheco will be a running back 2 in my rankings. Hunt, probably more of an RB2 flex. Maybe goal line work can save him. But overall, pretty underwhelming running game from the Chiefs in this one. And then Mahomes was fine. 306 yards and a touchdown. Didn't turn the ball over. Solid game from the Chiefs. They just couldn't run the ball. And then the Raiders, man, they're going to just air it out, I think, the rest of the season with AOC. 23 of 35, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh my goodness, Brock Bowers, 10 for 140 and a touchdown. Like, oh my God. Jacoby Myers is a wide receiver 2-3 right now, 6 for 97 on 11 targets. The offense is funneled through those guys. No other player had more than 2 targets. Myers 11 and Brock Bowers 14. That is the passing offense. 25 of the 35 targets went to those 2 players. Start them. I think you're going to continue to bear fruit there. And then the running back room is just a mess. They do like Sincere McCormick, though. 12 carries for 64 yards. Abdullah was the 3rd down passing down back, but they still threw to McCormick as well. I think we're going to get Alexander Madison back this week, maybe even Zamir White to complicate this, but I'm going to be watching this Raiders backfield practice reports and trying to figure it out. I do think McCormick is an ad. He might be someone that gets more work as the season goes on. But Abdullah, if Madison comes back, that's going to, cut into some of his volume and his passing down work. So we'll watch for that. But I think the Raiders with Aiden O'Connell, he's a pickup in super flex leagues. You're starting Jacoby, you're starting Bowers, and then the running back room is going to be a case-by-case, week-by-week basis. So that's going to do it. I'm just going to show you guys real quick the Chargers and the Falcons. I'm going to cover this next for members. So I'm going to hit the outro. Stay tuned for that, members. And if you guys, again, want to check it out, fantasyfellowship.com, there's membership packages on there for you guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace. Got me feeling icy.